So over the years, I've done lots of surveys asking people about the items they received as gifts. So for each of these items, how much do you think the giver paid? And what would you have been willing to pay to get that item? And then what's the relationship between you and the giver? Then I also ask about items the recipient or the person had purchased for him or herself. And for there, what did you pay for it? And what's the most you would have been willing to pay for it? And what I found, based now on thousands of observations and hundreds and hundreds of survey recipients, is that people value the stuff they receive as gifts 18 or about 20% less per dollar spent than the stuff that they buy for themselves. Not all gift givers are really poor at choosing gifts. People who are in frequent contact with you do quite well. So it's comforting to know that parents do very well for their children. People do well buying for their friends and significant others. It's the people who are in infrequent contact with their recipients who are really at risk of destroying a lot of value. So my suggestion would be just keep on buying gifts for the people you know well, especially for kids. Kids deserve Santa Claus. But when you're in a position where you have to buy something for someone and you don't know what they want, that's where you have a problem. So a solution there could be to give a gift card, or to give money to charity in the name of the recipient, or a number of other kinds of solutions. Gift cards are wonderful in the sense that they give the recipient control over what to buy. So it's like giving cash, which is in principle a great solution, but in reality, cash is really considered very tacky. What gift cards have done that's kind of neat is they get around the tackiness. They're very popular with givers and with recipients. They allow the recipient to choose which item at that store he or she wants, but they do have this one significant problem. About 10% of their value never gets redeemed. They just get forgotten in a drawer or lost. And so of the $80 billion per year spent on gift cards, probably $30 billion at the holidays, about 10%, maybe $8 billion a year in the US is not being redeemed. Now that money doesn't disappear. It either goes over to the retailer, or in some states it goes to the state government. Holiday gift giving, kind of on its face, it sounds like a glamorous, luxurious thing. But in fact, if you look at the data over the last 100 years in the US or across households in a contemporary sense, what you see is that people who have more money, or times when there is more money available, give rise to more spending, but not proportionally more. So holiday gift giving, it turns out, is a necessity. In fact, in the taxonomy of necessities, it's pretty close to gasoline, more so than caviar. Charity, on the other hand, when you think about charitable giving usually transfers resources over to very needy people. You'd think of this as something that you wouldn't want to scale back on when your income goes down, but instead, what we see is that in poor times, charitable giving really takes a hit. So ironically, in the last few years, as the economy's been pretty sour, charitable giving has taken a big hit, but holiday gift giving hasn't taken nearly as much of a hit, and that's kind of ironic.